Good morning and welcome. It is Tuesday, December 9th. We are 90 days out from March 9th, which is coincidental. That does not normally happen. We're not usually day for day, but here we are. I think we're November ending with 30 days. February's in there. That cuts things short. We'll get messy again later, but right now it is December 9th to March 9th. That is your 90-day window. And the reason we remind ourselves about the 90 days is it's about 90 days from your kitchen table to your closing table, give or take. It's one of those prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Maybe it'll close faster than that. And why the focus on listings? Why the focus on listings? It's intriguing because our dear friend James Shaw actually hammered down on this yesterday. It is not at the disadvantage of the buyer. The buyer is obviously integral in the entirety of the transaction here in the industry in which we serve. Yet, in my conversations over and over and over again, many of us have buyers, yet there is nothing out there for them to buy. So it's incumbent upon us to go hunting. It's incumbent upon us to go get the commodity our industry requires, and that is going to get the listing. Listings will bring the buyers to life. It's like whack-a-mole, right? They just keep popping up. But as soon as you have a listing, they sort of come to you with their hat in their hand, and maybe not even them, but maybe their agent, right? They who have the lead control the business. They who have the listing control their income, their schedule. You get to pick your zip code, your price point, all of the things. And that's why we focus so much on listings. That's what our industry requires to keep everything moving. And on your way to your next kitchen table, on your way to your next listing appointment, you'll run into the qualified unrepresented buyer or even the qualified represented buyer. It's awesome if you get more leads from your listing, and a well-managed, well-marketed listing will do just that. That's why we talk about the 90-day window. And it's also important to remember, too, if you're having a great week this week, if you have one, two, multiple closings, or maybe that's next week for you, also take the time to look back 90 days. What was the causation of this greatness? What was your face doing 90 days ago? It's a bold law that used to be called be, do, have. And they changed have to achieve, because things you have can be taken away. Things you achieve will be yours forever. Achievements will always be yours. So you have to ask yourself, not what you were doing 90 days ago. That is important, right? The actions you took were part of the cause. But more importantly, who were you being 90 days ago? Oh, God, he's getting existential on a Tuesday. Yes. I, beyond a shadow of a doubt, feel it is more important to focus on who you were being that allowed you to do. Taking action is 99% mindset. What was going on in the 5.5 inches between your ears? What were you consuming for nutrition? What were you doing for exertion, for your body, for your fitness? Who were you spending time with? How was your sleep? How was your self-care? What were you consuming for education and learning? If 90 days ago you were doing something wildly different, and that is causing greatness, let's re-examine that. That's why it's so important we track. And conversely, if you feel like you're getting your face kicked in right now, we probably know what you were or weren't doing, who you were or weren't being 90 days ago. And there's no judgment there. It's mere data for us to use so we can thrive. So the 90-day rule goes both ways. There's two sides to that coin. Where will today's actions and being cause you in 90 days? And if today it is down, or if today it is up, what was going on 90 days ago for you? Retrace your steps, capture the breadcrumbs, and replicate that schedule. It's interesting. Yesterday in Fight Club, yesterday the midday protocol, some different faces, some return faces, some new faces. And this is the mundane part of the schedule. It's the unsexiest part of what we do, is everything we do before 12. Midday protocol before 1:30. The afternoons, that's the cool part. The afternoons, that's HGTV. You all dressed up, preferably in a winter coat. It is freezing out. Swinging open the door, talking about the price improvement. It's only 2.1 million now, Mr. Jones. Come on in. That's all we see on TV. That's all your friends see on TV. They don't understand the grind, the heavy lifting. You do. And to my earlier point, we're 90 days out from March 9th. So what do you want March 9th to look like? You're about a week away from St. Patrick's Day. And if you love yourself a pint and you want to be going out and you want to be enjoying yourself, not thinking, oh my God, taxes are coming in a month, then let's behave differently today. Let's control what we can control. We can control how we show up. We can control our mentality, our mindset, our approach, our effort. All of that can be controlled. And I know I said yesterday, hey, maybe you're already done for the year. Maybe you're feet up for the month of December. No judgment there. I mean, if you're noticing, right? The mothership down in Texas, all the things that you usually see coming from international are starting to go to sleep a little bit. Gary's very purposeful about it. Gary is shutting it down. Gary gives himself a very chill early December and a absolute chill late December. And then he'll be back with a gas mask on, kicking the door in just after New Year's. Because whether we're leading or not leading, we're leading. And if he has his feet up in international in January, what do you think everyone else will do? People always say, God, Nate's here, he's there, I never see him, he's real busy, he's all over the place. Yes. He's our Gary. I mean, shorter, better looking, shorter, better looking. Yeah, he's our Gary. He's our founder. He's covering the footprint. He's making sure that he is role modeling for all of us as individuals and leaders what it looks like to lead. He's doing that through having breakfast and lunch and going to offices and meeting with team leaders and rainmakers. Doing his best to be present, doing his best to show up. Doing his best to have conversations that uncover for you what's important to you. If you run into Nate in the wild, he will ask you, without fail, a few different things, either at the start of the conversation or certainly when he breaks company with you. What are you working on? Do you have everything you need? How can I help? Is he doing that 565 times every day? No. Does he do that with everyone he runs into every day? Yes. Do you have to do that? No. Is it a great habit to role model? Sure. Zig Ziglar. When you help other people get what they want, you will get what you want. There's financial capital and there's human capital, which I know sounds very disengaging. That sounded really mechanical. But human capital is leverage through others. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, bring other people with you. That's why over time he's armed himself with 565 other people to build this thing as big as it needs to be to make sure nobody feels professionally or financially inhibited. Now, you don't have to do that for your business. If it's just you, then you have to ask yourself, am I in my own way? Ryan Holiday, right? Great modern day Stoic, fantastic book. I quote it at least once a week. The book is called The Obstacle is the Way. And the phrase in that book is basically, we are our own obstacle and our own solution. You cannot change the people around you. You can change the people you're around. If you're the smartest person at the table, change tables. If you're here at 463, I'd say you're at a pretty smart table. But there are multiple tables within this company. If the one you're at is not serving you, and it's a table for one, decide what needs to change for your mindset. Decide what you need to do to serve you better. And it's rarely something cataclysmic. Historically, it's a minor shift in your physicality, in the way you present yourself, in the way you feel about you, in the way you think about what you're setting out to do. You're going to your first $1 million listing and you think you're not worthy. That's not true. Your job is to create a relationship with the seller, learn the story of the home, and deliver that to the community in which you serve. That way you find not somebody looking for a house, but the person who deserves that home. When we talk about luxury conversations, and now we're doing it with Brady Sondal, and people are just like, well, yeah, so the first Wednesday of the month at 11 o'clock, it's going to be luxury now. And they're doing New Hampshire at 10 o'clock. I just don't know if I should go to the 11 o'clock because I'm not selling luxury. Luxury, my dear friend, is $700,000 in most of the communities in which we serve. You're all a conversation away from selling luxury. And whether you've earned your way in or you've paid for pro, and there's all the different levels that Adam Dow can remind you of, should you choose to have a conversation with him about it or join us for luxury in January, which will be the 7th, I believe. Luxury is not an act. It's a mindset. Service is an act. Delivering an experience, carrying the bravado to deliver that experience, that's a mindset. So what do you want to deliver for you and the people that you serve? What are you capable of? Better question, what are you not capable of? Henry Ford, if you think you're wrong or if you think you're right, you're right. It starts at the conception of your seminal thought when you get out of bed. What am I capable of today? What did I want for 25? It's not about motivation, it's about inspiration. And better yet, aspirational values. Do you desire for yourself and for your loved ones and for your community and for your consumers and clients something you have not yet kicked the tires on? Is it aspirational for you? We hear all the time people talking about, hey, fake it till you make it. I don't know if I love that phrase. You hear other people talk about imposter syndrome. And I think, honestly, I think every one of us should have that when our feet hit the floor in the morning. We should all be endeavoring to do something we've never done. Impostering our way to greatness every day. So fake it till you make it, throw that out. Imposter syndrome, wear it with pride every morning and set out to do something different and greater for yourself every day. And that starts with brass tacks, hard work. That starts with Fight Club at 9 o'clock. KWFightClub.com. At 11 o'clock, the Wealthy Agent webinar. All this revenue you're creating, all this wealth you're creating, what are you going to do to grow it, to invest it? Matthew Erdman has that conversation today at 11 o'clock. The link for that's in the morning news. At 1 o'clock, we do the midday protocol. We're talking about Dan Sullivan's gap and gain. We'll continue that conversation today after we review our conversations, our appointments, and our contracts. That's midday protocol, timsoffice.com today at 1 o'clock. 1:30 Main Essential Forms on kellytv.com. And then KT Temple, our Market Center tech trainer, goes over paid ad campaigns in Command. That is today at 3. The link for that is in the morning news. If I can help with anything, if you can reset and you need somebody to be part of the conversation, a set of ears, a guiding force, I'm here for it. It's 603-834-2856. You can also book my face at meetwithcoach.com. Take care.